Can XRP actually go to $100 per coin? It's safe to say I get this question every single day, and even though I talk about the coin almost every single day, people still wonder, how high do I still think it's gonna go this year, this season, or over the next few years? And do I see the price per coin going as high as $100 each? So let's just quickly establish the current XRP price. As it stands right now as we speak, XRP is trading at $2.79 per coin, with the price reaching a high point of $3.40 just a few weeks ago, and a low point of $1.80, something along those lines, also last week somewhere, almost 2 weeks ago. Having said that, we earlier established that XRP found itself a beautiful bottom at roughly $2.30, even though there was a crazy liquidation outlier before that, and right now is slowly but surely climbing back up. But does this all matter for the overarching XRP prediction? Does this all matter for our road to $100? Yes and no. So the reason I am saying no is because, generally speaking, all this short-term price action doesn't really mean that much for our eventual price predictions. It's not going to go to $100 per coin overnight, if at all. So just moving from $2.40 to $2.70, is that really putting a dot on the map? Well, and to that point, I'd say yes. You can't get to $100 without passing $3, right? You can't get to $4 without passing $3.50. Every single small cent move is ultimately quite important in the grand scheme of things. And sometimes it can be easy to focus too much on the goal that you're forgetting all the steps it took to get there. And so when we are talking about these short-term price fluctuations on the channel every single day, we're doing so because, again, this breakout, for example, above $3.30 could ignite another spike towards potentially breaking the previously established structure, maybe even breaking, for example, $3.70. And from there, we are again looking for a greater height to break, for example, $4, major psychological barrier, and basically the all-time high, right? Or maybe $5, or maybe something along those lines. Now, all of that is necessary to eventually get to $10, which you need to get to $20, and so forth and so on. But if we're talking more about, hey, based on previous cycles, based on the lawsuit, based on ETFs, based on the current political climate, with Trump coming in, a lot of nice things being said about Ripple, the Ripple team, and, well, the US looking into making a reserve of these crypto assets. If we're just taking a bundle of all those factors, then I'd say there's also two forms, or two parks, whatever you want to call this. On the one hand, you've got your XRP price prediction, mostly based on previous cycles and Bitcoin. So back in 2017, Bitcoin hit a value of almost $20,000, right? In that same time frame, XRP was $3. 3 years later, right, one cycle further, or 4 years later almost, we basically saw Bitcoin do about a 3.5x, go from 20,000 to 70,000. We saw XRP go from $3 to $2. Now, I always like to reason with people. I think that if Bitcoin was able to do a 3.5x there, XRP should have been able to do roughly the same, kind of moving the same sort of pattern, going from $3 to, let's just say, $13, $13.50 maybe, just something along those lines. And as I see right now, Bitcoin went from that $70,000 to about 110, but I think this cycle it'll again do roughly a 3x. Let's just say we end up at $210,000, $240,000, something along those lines. Then if we also take the same for XRP, we should have gone from, let's just say, $4 to maybe, let's say, roughly $13, $15 or so. And then again, right now to about $45. Now, that is again putting the bar a bit high because in 2021, XRP didn't hit that crazy high point, but that's just a way of thinking I like to sometimes honor. Just sometimes think about it in a way of, hey, if we're starting to take a look at the price right now, it just went very quickly from 50 cents to $3 here in the span of a few weeks, but really from the logical cyclical perspective, it's actually still quite cheap because we're just not back to 2017 prices when Bitcoin, for example, did a 3x from there and then like almost a 2x from there again. But then way of thinking number two, and by the way, if you're also looking for a platform to trade, you can check out the link down below to 𝗏𝗏𝗀. That's where I trade on for the most part as well. And as it currently stands, there's a pretty big competition going on, a team competition, where we are 9th on the P&L side. And yes! We are the #1 most profitable team again. A few days in a row now, it seems. We are the #1 most profitable team on 𝗏𝗏𝗀. But again, a link for that is down below. If this competition pops off, it could actually be that our team is going to win hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're trading, check it out. A link will be down below for it. Pretty cool. We are #1 though. I don't want to say too much. Regardless, way of thinking number two, I'd say mostly has to do with the recent advancements. So if you start to think about what happened to XRP in the past, the position that it was at when it went to $3, and then think about the position that it is in right now, all the things that have happened, all the beautiful things that have come. The lawsuit, basically they won, but it's going to be fully gone in a few short weeks, months. ETFs, we just get an acknowledgement that the SEC has basically looked at it. We're going to get ourselves a response most likely in the next few weeks as well. And there have already been these big analysts from big banks who've said, yeah, this will mostly gain a lot of demand. We've now gotten confirmation that many banks are going to get the possibility to allow transfers and holding it. And if you really start adding all those things up, the new bullish climate with Trump coming in, getting new, I guess, nice crypto advisors on board as the new crypto 𝗕𝗘𝗪 is also nice. Gary Gensler is out. Potentially Brad Garlinghouse, the current Ripple CEO, on one of their boards. Them talking about a Bitcoin reserve, them talking about a digital asset reserve, them talking about doing good things for cryptocurrencies based or made in the US. When you really start adding all those things up, if XRP was able to go to $3 before just based on hype and excitement, shouldn't all these factors that have been brought in now at least be able to take it to a tenfold of that? Just purely based on what I've just told you, a tenfold really is not that much. Anyway, when I really start reasoning it all up, then a $30 price tag or something like that really is not that high for current value. And that's again where I like to put in my earlier set statement of it just depends on how far you want to reach it out. If we're talking this cycle, there's almost no real way I see us going above, again, at one of the highest points, a $45 a coin price tag. But more realistically, my own expectation for where things in a nice scenario can end up is somewhere around the $20-some price mark. That's still a 10x or so from where we're at today. That's what I really hope we are going to see. That will be the most amazing time in my life. And if you are not satisfied, happy, excited with $25 a coin, it's either because you're late or a bit delusional. Not delusional because you're expecting something that can never happen, but you're wanting a lot, all right? Because $25 a coin means you just went from 10 cents a little bit ago, not too long ago, to $25 right now. You're not satisfied. In my opinion, that's a bit crazy, but let me say it like this. I would be completely happy, completely satisfied if that's all where we end up. Where I would not be satisfied at is like $7 a coin. I almost need to puke off of that because, again, we're not making progress throughout all these years then. $3 in 2017, only $7 this season. It just doesn't really make sense, especially with the things like the lawsuit now being cleared and all those things have happened in the past. No, all right? It's just, it would be sad, sad, sad. But at $20, something like that plus, I would be the happiest person alive. And that brings a lot of potential for what is going to be over, let's say, a 3-4 year time span. Again, if we're talking about the next cycle and we expect the price to always, 3.5x, something along those lines. But now, because of this US coins pressure, it perhaps being in a more beautiful light, maybe the multiplier is going to be bigger. And so again, that $100 price tag in just the short span of a few years really is not that crazy. But that's, again, just with the knowledge we've got today. A fun fact is that I can't realistically tell you there isn't something else that's just massive that's going to happen soon that's going to completely throw all our ideas in the water. Meaning, for example, there's right now a plan laying on somebody's desk, a partnership announcement, a implementation announcement laying on somebody's desk that's going to just bring my targets from wherever they're at right now to a times 10 of it, a tenfold of what they're at right now. because the world of crypto moves so fast, just like how the world of AI moved so quickly in such a short amount of time. I just want to quickly put into people's heads that you can't, I think, fully fathom just how fast things can go. Just take a look at this, for example. As I just told you, we went from 50 cents, here's an easier chart, we went from roughly 50 cents, or less than 50 cents, right, to $3.50 almost in just the span of a few short weeks. And that was based on almost nothing, really. You could say it's a culmination of everything that happened before, but really, this was a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. But this is the first time in many, many years that XRP was able to get a sustained rally going. It was one of the best gainers out there. But I keep thinking this is basically nothing in the grand scheme of things. But maybe once we start continuing on with this trend and going crazier and crazier, you really start noticing that this, maybe even $12 or $15 price tag that many others have put on it is really not even that high, because it happens when Bitcoin has not even hit, a crazy high point just quite yet. I mean, you can see we had our trade open here at 70 cents a coin. We put $1,000 in, and right now it's $40,000 in the profit, actually 60,000 if we take what we've already cashed out. Here, over on Blowfin, we put a bit of a bigger trade open. Our position is worth 350K or so, and we were only $20,000 in the profit, but that's because our price, as you can see, is 263, so we're just a little bit in the profit. But if it's able to go back to those previous heights, you can see that's up 30% or so, which would be pretty cool, because that would be about $100,000 or so on this position, if it only goes back to the previous high point. And that's another funny thing I keep telling people, that if you're playing your cards right, obviously the more money you have, the easier it is, but you don't really need the coins to go to $1,000 per XRP or $10,000 per XRP to make massive gains. It just depends on how much use you make out of smaller opportunities. But again, that's a discussion for a different day. We talk about trading here on the channel every single day because I think to some extent it's just more effective. But on the opposite side, if you do not want to risk your capital, you just like to hold and stay strong, well, these are my thoughts on the situation. I still hold a ton of XRP just in cold storage, basically, because I do believe these coins will do amazing over time. And if I didn't think so, I would just tell you I don't think so. But for me, it just makes too much sense for them to do amazing. Anyway, if you're looking for a crypto exchange to trade on, I've got a couple of links down below, either trade or just buy coins, whatever. Some links are down below. And I also would like you to comment down below what your favorite crypto coin is if it's not XRP. And if you've not done it yet, make sure you put that notification bell on so you're always notified whenever something crazy happens. And I've asked a lot of things now, but if you enjoyed it, you might want to press the like button, but you don't have to. It's all your own decision. And that's about it for my thoughts.